not necessarily being God's will. And so there were a lot of women in the congregation who all received revelations from the Lord that they were supposed to marry me. At one point, just kind of gave up hope that would ever happen, find the right one. So finally, I pretty much said, okay. I remember the year. I said, okay. And it was soon after I came back from India and Cuba, because India was so dangerous. I said, well, maybe that's why the Lord doesn't want me to be married, because it is very dangerous. I said, okay, Lord, I'm not going to be married. I'm not even going to think about it anymore. It's resolved. Will not be. That's it. It turns out there was a woman in Brazil. Her father was a pastor, and she ministered in the worship and also in Hebrew dance and in the ministry. And when she was about 13, 14, 15, several groups of believers prophesied over her, gave her a word, prayed for her, and had a word for her. And it was all the same word. And they said, there's a man across the world. He's Jewish. He's from the tribe of Levi. He sounds the shofar, goes around the world. Prepare yourself, because you're going to be his wife and you're going to be his helpmate. Time went on, nothing happened. Later on, she's in America, and at one point she said, I want to go to a Messianic congregation, because she knew that, and she ministered in a Messianic congregation in Brazil. And so a friend of hers says, well, I know one. Let me take you to this one, Beth Israel, I really like. So they take her there. One of the prophecies, or the words said that, one of the words they gave her said, as soon as you see him, you'll know. So I'm walking around, I'm not on the pulpit, I'm walking around before the service. She sees me walking around, doesn't know I'm the pastor or rabbi, and she says, I know him. She says, I definitely know this man. I said, no, you don't. I said, well, he's been to Brazil because I've seen him before. I know him. I said, he's never been to Brazil. And I said, well, why do I know him? So she's there. She doesn't say it, but she stands up as one of the new people. It's okay. At the end of the service, they bring some of the new people to meet me. So she's brought to me, and I meet her. There's a translator, because she doesn't speak English, and I don't speak Portuguese. So we're speaking through the translator, and I go home, and I'm mad. I'm upset. I'm saying, Lord, why did you bring that one there? He said, because if I was going to be married, that would have been the one. But now I said no, and so what? So I was upset. So I literally, didn't know what to do, and so I prayed about it and prayed about it. We began to see each other. But the thing is, for the first year, I didn't speak Portuguese. I still don't. She didn't speak English. So we had to communicate for the 1 year with sign language and with a laptop computer. Everywhere we went, we had a laptop. And so sometimes we'd be walk in the park, laptop. She'd ask me, what do you think about me? I type it, the laptop died, that was the end of the night. If there was any kind of issue or something, any kind of problem, it would take hours for one. So she would type what she wanted. She would type and press the button, and it would translate from Portuguese to English. She'd read it back to me in English. She didn't know what she was saying. I would type in English, speak to her in Portuguese, didn't know what I was saying. So that was for a year. Soon after this began, I happened to be called to go to Brazil to minister. And it was called to go to her home city. And her mother ended up going to the event. And her mother, without realizing, she just knew I was the pastor, she ended up telling me about the prophecies. It turned out her father had made a shofar to commemorate those prophecies in Brazil. So we went slow for about 3 years. And then on the 3rd year, we told the congregation. And then the 4th year, we were engaged. And the 5th year we got married.
You may kiss the bride.